Yo, it's your boy Dean.
Tim.
Teran.
Got another episode of the Dean's Office. And again, we still working, man. We trying to do a better job with being a little more consistent, but we still working, man. We want to appreciate all our fans, everybody that's listening, that's working with us.
Thank you to the fans for supporting us more than our family. We appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
Yeah.
The fans support us more than our family?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
And then and then what you call it? And also let's give a shout out to the teachers. They getting the Broward teachers, they getting a raise.
Day teachers.
Day teachers getting a raise, and then Broward working on
everybody getting
100K or something like that. But
so if you see us coming here with a book bag and
if you see us here that says Broward teachers, you know what we about to do.
the podcast changed to Broward Teachers of America.
Yeah.
You don't know why.
You know why we all became teachers to get snag that 100K, man.
But it's much deserved though. Teachers, I believe teachers deserve it, man, because they're such a pivotal part of what bring our kids up. So I agree, they need it.
And as well, school about to start this week and starting this week, next week. I know in other counties and other states
That started already.
School have already started.
Can I do something different while we got 30 seconds before the intro ends?
Go ahead.
Deacon Dean, can you say a prayer for the students?
Oh,
real quick? Okay, here we go.
Or the teachers.
For the teachers, here we go, real quick.
Teachers, parents,
30 seconds. Dear Heavenly Father, we want to say thank you for this opportunity that you have given us to be able to pray over the administrative staff, the teachers, the principal, the kids. We ask you to pray for a successful opening, a successful school year, and allow no harm, no danger coming to amongst each and every one, to make everybody who comes on the campus be there for goodwill only. We ask you all this in your son Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. All right. That's the way to close out. So we got a good one, like always.
Always.
Let's go. Let's get locked in. Yo.
World, you're needed in the Dean's Office.
All right, so we got a good one. This one we're gonna do a little different. I know we did a couple episodes ago where we went over a couple of topics. So a few things happened that stood out over the past couple of weeks, and I think that we should kind of want to talk about it since we didn't have the opportunity to talk about it when it first came out. So I think something that went under the radar that most people didn't talk about was they had the Congress. It was Congress, right? Had a hearing, and Buddy admitted that the government does have alien ships and biological parts, correct?
Yeah.
Biological parts. And he didn't go into too much detail because it's classified, so he couldn't go in too much details of what they have. But it was shocking. I heard a little rumble about it. They talked about, it made some headlines, but I don't think we focused enough on it, because if it is aliens, don't it impact you don't feel like it impact your way you see life, religion, and stuff like that? Do you feel like now that we have proof, or they're admitting that there's some type of life
I still
form
want to see it
outside of
though.
Earth?
Yeah, so
I still gotta see it for myself. But go ahead.
So basically, I was reading the story from the AP.
What's the AP?
The Washington AP is a news,
Okay.
Associated Press.
The Associated Press. You're right. So basically, it's a former Air Force pilot. I guess he was involved in top secret missions, and basically he came forward. He became a whistleblower when he was asked to reveal certain documentation and things like that. His name is Major. Well, he's retired now. Retired Major David Grush. And he did a testimony, and like Tawar said, in front of the subcommittee, the oversight subcommittee, basically explaining that the military is housing non-human aircraft and organs or organisms, and they are in the possession of them. So
Who is they?
The government.
The government,
Yeah,
okay,
Just like the movie the show X-Files.
Show X-Files,
They made a movie out of it too.
Yeah.
right. So like you said, it kind of got me thinking. So hypothetically, if we knew that there were aliens, right, and aliens are real, what would it do to your faith? would you question everything that the Bible taught you? Would it not impact you at all? Would you just say we're all God's people? Like, what if they came here and had a totally ideology, or what if they had the explanation for life beginning because they were that far advanced? Would that change your perspective at all?
Well, you the God, man.
Would it change? I don't think it would change my perspective. And if I truly believe, and I do truly believe in God, that He created everything, why wouldn't He create the universe? He did create the universe, correct? Mm-hmm. So but by creating the universe, there might be other entities out there because it's something He created, right? Because that's what He wanted to do. Just like when He created man here, He said, "Hey, I don't want man to be alone." He helped them build animals and all this other stuff, and then became women. So, is there a possibility of us not being alone, in the world? I believe it can be. Do I believe in aliens? I would say no. I really don't believe in aliens. I don't know what this biological mechanism they actually got or organism that they got, but I just don't. That's just me.
But know, but before you jump, alien or other life form could be something that just was simply created on
Mars.
On Mars, where you have organisms. You know how organisms can be small that you can see. That's considered it's biological. Because I know in our mind when we hear alien, we thinking human form and coming to attack,
or like this intelligent life. Or like this thing behind us on the screen, this green thing.
What's the man in black? How they just mix into society?
Yeah. But you know what? So then this is a question for you. If there are aliens, do God have the same standards for them do they have for humans? So meaning,
do they have a Bible?
Do they have a Bible? Do they have do he created them in His image? Did he do they have to they can't have no other false god? Is there any other alien life form that they can't worship either? Do they have to worship the same God that we have to?
Do they have biblical stories like ours?
Do they know so do they got their own alien Moses or Jesus? Is it some kind of Jesus in another world or dimension that
So what's scarier to you? What's scarier to you? If we're alone or if there's aliens? Which one is the more scarier thought? We're alone or if there are aliens?
You mean if there's nothing exists?
Like nothing else but us exists.
I don't think that's the scary part. I just think that it's a part of life.
No,
how is that scary?
Because when we the only thing, it gives us it leads us to distinction. Extinction. I'm sorry, extinction. Mm-hmm. So now, when we the only thing, it's like there's no, like, how when you watch a movie, when they get to the part where the end, the world is in. Okay, prime example, when you watching those superhero movies, and they're fighting, and then the last guy dying, the superhero about to die. He on his last leg, and somebody come save him. Mm-hmm. It's like a anxiety of if there's no one to save the world, we're just gonna perish. Like it has to be some type of other organism or something or God
in the past
that's gonna help us.
I wonder that will be I mean, I wonder if it would be, to me. I think it's scarier if we're alone because that means we're the test people. Because one. Do y'all know the odds of you actually being born, or like
what?
I'm thinking
because we talk about the amount of semen, right? There's semen.
No, I mean,
when it going in, how many like when it comes to sperm
for you to even exist, it's like the odds is like 1 trillion to 1 for you to even exist. Because you got to think about it, of the amount of people that have unprotected sex, and obviously the act of procreation. We all been to biology class of how the chances are with that. Like there are like exponentially more people who could have lived than people who have actually lived. Like you get what I'm saying? So it's like
what they gotta do with aliens, bro?
I'm telling you now. I'm saying like to me, if we're the only one and this whole universe was created for us, I feel like that would be like I don't want to say scary, but it's like dang, like you know what I mean. That there's not this whole thing going on. Like there's not like this other race going on the other side. Like to me,
The scariest thing is not knowing once I die and I'm not going to heaven, because I'm gonna be pissed if I die and ain't no heaven on the other side of that no pearly gates or whatever it is, Jesus, what is streets of gold or whatever verbiage they use. I think that's more scary to me than anything.
yeah, salvation. That's the whole thing. That's what Christianity about. If no Christianity, no salvation, that is scary, right?
Because I would be pissed if all I'm gonna do is lay in this box for the rest of my life.
Tell me, would you much rather? Would you much rather aliens or no aliens?
I would say, I'm gonna put it this way: throughout the whole history of alien portrayal, they're trying to take us over, right? All the movies that you look into, all of them, they might have one or two person who comes in, one or two things, say, hey, they want to live with us, blah blah blah. But it seems like their ultimate goal is to take us over.
Try to save us.
Who?
Transform Optimus Prime.
Every
movie you watch.
no, but I'm saying even
Name one movie you watched that had aliens in that didn't try to take over you.
forget the movies, real life. What happened when Christopher Columbus came to Americas? He didn't say it was up to the
He did come over and kill people.
So
So I think whenever you hear invasion, whenever you hear they're coming to take
that is scary,
all the
yeah.
resources that we have and move on. So if I believe there's aliens, I think it's hard for me to believe in aliens. I really can't believe that.
Can you be a faithful Christian and believe in aliens?
Yeah, I think so.
I think you can.
Let me tell you why. I think this is what makes me even more believe that there's a God. Sometimes I doubt what was written
In the
in
Bible.
the Bible. I'm gonna be completely open and honest. Sometimes I think that it was interpreted incorrectly and it was interpreted to be weaponized to advance an agenda. Sometimes.
And it was created based on ignorance too.
Right. That's what I'm saying. To me, in my opinion, I love the Bible. Christians don't strike me down. I just think sometimes it was
Embellished.
right. Why I believe in
Aliens?
God. Why I
God?
believe in God?
Okay.
Why I believe in a creator so much is because the things that are around us, right? The way that our body works, the way that like the earth, for example, right? We're the exact amount of space away from that sun. The sun is the exact size. The is rotating in orbit in order to keep us grounded here. The amount of oxygen that's here, like you get what I mean? Like all of it seems too intentional, right? For it to be a mistake, that it was just this big blast and we so happen to be here or whatever the case would be. Like I feel like it was created for a reason. You know what I mean? Like and to me, I get it. There are properties of us adapting to what the earth elements were, and they said we were fish first, and then we then we came on land and all this other stuff. I get it. I understand evolution, but to me, I just think that it's too coincidental, all the things that have happened to us. I think there's a creator in my eyes. There's an ozone layer that protects us from meteorites that comes to the earth all the time
And stop us from burning up.
There's a planet, Saturn, I think it is, that has such a strong gravitational pull that stuff that would almost, usually come to Earth or maybe in our orbit passes by there and gets sucked in by their gravitational pull and it gets hit and it goes to that planet. Like, you get what I mean? Like, it's just too, to me.
Save us, yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's too many things to me that tells me that it has to be a creator. You got a male, you got a female. You procreate, you get more. Like, you know, like, it's just, to me, it's just too coincidental for me not to believe that there's a greater. So even if there were more aliens to come, or if there were aliens to come, I just think it would just make us question what was put in the Bible, which was man-made, right? But it wouldn't make me question a creator or the faith that I
don't. And once again, when it came to writing the
You
Bible,
don't believe the Bible. You think it's
what?
Terrell said he don't believe the Bible. So
I
I'm
did not
asking.
say I don't
No,
believe the
I
Bible.
believe everything about the Bible, sir. No, what I'm saying is, if we go back to how it was, they said the Bible, like you said, Bible was written by a man, and the man was who had a vision from God to put together what he thought was the best interest for his people throughout the world. So there's stuff that was left out, right? So I don't think because it was here And whoever's written here, that's the story that they have to portray through the world, right? If it was aliens somewhere else, they probably would have had the same thing, something similar, but they would have went through different circumstances to get where they are because they would still believe in the God who protect them, who made them and all of them. So would the Bible be the same? Probably not. Just like now when you go into different, if you go down, there's some different habitation have never read the Bible before. They don't even know what Christianity is, but they have an idea that they need to serve somebody. They believe in a type of God. And the stories they receive are the stories they receive from their ancestors on what God has done for them or how to overcome them. And that's basically what the Bible is. Bible is a history book, but if any history book is based on who? The person who writing the interpretation. So when you look in even when you look at the New Testament, you have 4 books, right? The Gospels. I think it's Mark, Luke, Matthew, and John.
You're right.
Right? Those 4 books. So I'm going back to what I'm saying. When you read those books, they all talk about the same accounting with Jesus and what he's going through, but they focus on different things. Like one of the things, I think it's Luke, who's supposed to be, he was more like a scientist or a doctor or something like that. So he didn't talk about all of his writing wasn't the fluff part. It was this will happen, this will happen, and this will happen. Other people talking about how the crowds was going and all this other stuff, but they still talked about the same situation. So that's what it for me is. It's relevant because it's their interpretation of what they were going through at that time. Some of them, yes, a lot of them was there because they was his apostles.
Oh, so they were apostles that wrote it.
Okay. So they was there. So
you over hold on. You over here telling him yes, that's what it is, and you don't even know why these people was writing the Bible and where they was at.
I just want to make sure. Hey, I just want to make sure. No, but see, and that's the thing. And here's the thing that I know. It is a human account, and it was based on what humans knew back then, right? Do y'all not think if they was talking about the creation and the start of Earth in Genesis, why not mention the extinction of dinosaurs? That's significant.
So hold on.
Yeah, the dinosaurs were 25 million years ago. Humans only been alive for about thousands, like in the thousands of years. Okay. So I don't know what I don't know what it is exactly, but I know dinosaurs.
So you're saying humans came after?
I know humans came after the world was extinct after there was a extinction level event that happened with the dinosaurs. Everything on the earth pretty much died or had to adapt.
So okay.
So
again,
don't listen to what the
the
Flintstones are wrong.
No, I'm saying excuse my ignorance. So what you saying is that you saying that God was created after the dinosaurs?
No.
That's what it sounds like you saying.
I just want to be clear. That's what you telling me.
That's what you saying.
So you saying God was created after the dinosaurs?
No, what I'm saying is it further pushes the narrative that it was a human interpretation because humans at that time did not know dinosaurs existed. We didn't know
prior to them.
Right. We didn't know dinosaurs existed until the 1800s. You get what I mean? Like that's why there's no mention of it because people wasn't digging and looking for fossils and stuff like that until the 1800s. So
you know when was the first dinosaur discovered? Like when they started doing it? You said 1800, but where was it located?
That's real specific, but I'll find out for you.
They can't find that out. We got to find out what it is.
Can you let us
where
know?
were the first dinosaurs? When and where the first dinosaur bones was discovered?
But go ahead. Let me tell you the thought.
It was in the 1800s sometime, and then obviously the Bible was put together in the 1600s, interpreted from books that was like 400 or 500 years prior to, or no, 1,000 years prior to that. Like you get what I'm saying? So they wouldn't have known about it, and that's why it wasn't. In the book they're only talking about things that were impacting of that time, the famine in the land, the locusts, and like those are just things that were happening at that moment. So that's why they interpret it based on their environment. That's like rappers, right? When rappers are trying to get their point across, what analogies are they going to use? They're going to use the things that are happening around them. Like, you get what I'm saying? So I think I wouldn't deny, I'm not going to say God didn't speak to these people or they didn't witness these things. But I think the interpretations were changed based on what they knew.
They understand it. Human understanding.
At that time. Because another thing, There was a story.
For somebody who say that they believe in the Bible, they try to pick him up.
Yeah, I mean,
Go ahead. Go ahead. Just finish.
He did say he don't like the Bible.
Yeah.
He don't
I
read
didn't
the
say I
Bible.
don't like the Bible. Y'all not curious about these things? I'm curious. Like I read. So, what is it?
Scientists first began studying.
Hold on. Come on, bring that nasalness.
Yeah, like we talking to baby Elmo.
They discovered the bones of a large land reptile they dubbed the Megalosaurus
In the 1820s?
In the 1820s.
in the English countryside.
English countryside. Okay, go ahead.
So, another thing in the Bible.
So for those that didn't hear, it's in 1820 in the English side, they discovered the first
Yeah,
Megalodorus.
Megalodon.
Megalodon. I don't even know what a megalodon is.
Megalosaurus just means big lizard.
Yeah, Megalosaurus.
So there was a story in the Bible. I think it's with Ruth, within Jesus, right?
Ruth and Jesus wasn't around at the same time, but go ahead.
It was in Ruth and Jesus.
No.
So it might have been Mary. Who did Jesus say he went to go have supper with them, and she's like, oh, let me wash
Mary.
That was Mary.
Mary and Martha.
Okay,
No.
so he went to go. He went to go.
Sure, your problem, but go ahead.
So he said he went to go wash.
She went to go.
Yeah, she went to go wash. She's like, oh, let me wash and then
Wash your foot.
and Jesus like, you don't have to do these silly things like wash and do all these things before you eat. You can just eat. You don't have to do these silly rituals. You don't have to do.
He didn't say this silly ritual. He just said it doesn't. He said it doesn't matter what. They was talking about uncleanliness and being clean.
Right.
And Jesus says, not what you put in your mouth that make you unclean is what comes out.
Right. So now, I bet you they didn't know about germs back then.
Jesus was focused. He was focusing more on being unclean. At that time, they was talking about being dirty and unclean and stuff like that.
But wait.
The pork and stuff, like how you're not supposed to like eat pork and stuff.
They was talking about that as well. They was including that stuff because that's unclean meat. That's what they were saying. Those are unclean animals.
But I think being come out meaning like how you talk to people, how you treat
It's
people.
what's inside of you that makes you unclean.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was
He
basically,
took it as Jesus didn't know about germs.
Or didn't care.
but yeah, I mean, I guess I know we got another topic to go to, but that's my only thing. But to kind of wrap it up, I wouldn't care if aliens came. My faith would still be there. I'll be curious. I want to learn from them. I want to know how they were able to move faster than the speed of light in order to travel here. Did they get here through a wormhole? Because obviously, in the nearest planetary systems that's near us, it take like millions of years to get to us. They say, did y'all know the lights that we're looking at right now are like those stars may not be there at this moment because how long it took that light to get to us? Mm-hmm. So they might have literally died at this moment, and we're looking at the past because it takes the light that much. It takes the sunlight to get to us 8 minutes just to get to us. So if the sun blew up, we wouldn't know until 8 minutes passed.
I think for us, for one day, I think one day, honestly, I would love to have a pastor come on and talk to us about that, because when it comes to what happened in the Bible history and what happened in the other history, sometimes it doesn't coincide to go each other. You understand what I'm saying? But they mention the same people. Like they mentioned Cleopatra in the Bible, and they mentioned Cleopatra in the household. Darius.
They mentioned Cleopatra in the Bible?
Yes. I mean, where? I can't tell you exactly where, because she was one of the ones that people came to. Oh, it was during the time of King Solomon. Because King Solomon she wanted to meet King Solomon because she heard how wise and smart he was. So she wanted to come, and she brought things with him to go meet with him, just because she wanted to see what everybody was talking about.
Bing.
So I can't remember. That's in 2 Kings. First or Second Kings, I can't remember. But remember, once again, I'm not a Bible scholar. I try to learn as much as I can on that part. But I do. It is interesting to know, because now when you look at the pyramids in Egypt, when you look at the Sphinx in Egypt, all these different things, you're like, man really built these things, right? And how big and tall it was. And when you see how they broke out the bricks on building, it was huge.
And it was cut detailed.
And it was so detailed oriented and everything. That's what I'm saying. Maybe, hey, But yeah, I think it's a good topic. I would love to have somebody come on. We can talk and expound on it a little bit more because once again, we want to make sure we put the right information out there and have a great debate when it comes to that.
Okay. So yeah, aliens coming, bro. All I'm thinking about is end of the world, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to make sure when they kill me, there's a heaven. Like all my good works was not for naught. But,
that's what the Bible says. Your labor is not in vain.
Okay.
Like all your good works.
You know what I'm saying? Let me know. But so the next thing, so we just switch topics, change out of that. But what something that really happened? It been trending for the past 2 weeks now?
Oh, 1 week. It only happened last weekend.
Last weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah. So last weekend, however you want to do it, but it has been trending, going through. Some people said it united black people. It brought us together. It showed us how strong we could be when we work together. And then, some people saying that we making a bigger deal than what it is. As we know, if you have not known, heard or seen, it's the Montgomery Brawl. They call it. They actually got a song for it. Montgomery Brawl. I slap her in the mouth because Montgomery Brawl.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, you need to check it out. It actually sounds pretty good. It sounds like somebody from Detroit made it. But
why you say Detroit?
yeah, that's how they rap because it got like a Detroit rap type sound to it.
Oh, you mean like on Tubi?
No,
You don't be watching Tubi movies?
I watched one the other day. Though. It was good.
But
it was
that
good. It was called Equal Standard.
I
Who?
gotta figure that out.
Who, Tim? Oh yeah, he do.
Yeah, I mean, the Detroit rap and Tubi don't meet, but
What? All the movies from Tubi from Detroit.
And they got some bad acting on it too, boy.
But I'm saying the song because the Tubi.
You gotta watch Tubi. Y'all don't watch Tubi together?
It's free.
Y'all should watch Tubi one night. Y'all should make.
No, we watch some things. We don't watch a couple things on Tubi,
but just make sure y'all look at the content rating because Tubi.
They be showing
Yeah.
slackness, as the old people say.
Yeah, it's for no reason at all. Like, hey, I just met you. Yeah, I know. Doom, 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 doom. So I was like, hey, man. All right, but go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I got you. So now my question is, do you feel like the incident, like when you first off, how did you feel when that video dropped? Mm-hmm. Like, what was you thinking? How was you feeling when you seen that video? This man, if those who don't know, the Montgomery Brawl was a guy. It was a deckhand, a security. I don't know what he is. That was trying to tell some white people that was in a boat. They had to move because the
ferry was
had to move, and they kind of refused, and they got out, and they got into a tussle. And then once that happened, black people started coming from all over, and they got into a big brawl. One dude jumped out the other ferry to help him out. So, like, when you seen that video, what was you thinking? And do you think it will unite? What I'm saying? Unite black people going forward.
I don't think it's to unite black people going forward. To be honest with you, I think it made it racial.
You don't think it was racial?
No, I mean, no. I think those people would have fought if it was a white man.
person too. I thought so too.
I think they would have fought a white man because it was drunk people that just got off a boat and they didn't want to move their boat, and the man physically moved their boat. So I think, but we got to understand, like, Alabama and Miami is different. Like, you know what I'm saying? We would have seen two people fighting. We'd be like, oh, look at them two people fighting. Like, if that would have happened in Miami, I don't think we would have been like, if another race and a black person fighting, we wouldn't have been so quick to go help him because, well, I know some racism is down here, but racism ain't like.
And then we thinking too, that boy might have some fire.
We die here, you know.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's gonna be like that. But in Alabama, I mean, in Alabama,
and it was a small town in Alabama.
Yeah.
So you're saying racism is a little more prevalent in
yeah,
that?
like it's a little bit more meaningful up there. Like, you get what I'm saying? And that's the one thing.
Meaningful.
No, I'm serious. Like, I don't think we think about it, but we think about it in terms of police officers, right?
Yeah.
Like, we don't think about it as, oh, look at this racist person coming up to me, because I can count my hand amount of times, excuse me, I've dealt with racism personally, and maybe I did and I didn't notice. But
You talking about like people?
yeah, like racist people. Like I haven't encountered it. I've grown up with black people and Hispanic people.
Nah, you say the Montgomery Brawl should have been a monumental event.
And all.
The boat right next to it was named Harriet. The man who hit the woman with a chair was made by a black person. It just felt together.
That's what social media wants.
That's what social media wants y'all to believe.
I'm okay with that.
I think no. When I saw it, when Mel showed it to me, and I'm looking like this, I felt proud. Like like you know how when you like, okay, that's like saying you see TJ or Tim score a touchdown. Mm-hmm. It's like you stand up and it's like a proudness. You think back, oh, that's my child, that's me, that's me. Me, you get what I'm saying? I think to me, it showed a level of if we really wanted to, because again, there's consequences for it. Because the man that hit the people with the chair got arrested. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that nobody. I don't think it's like some people was like, oh, they shouldn't get arrested. Nothing should happen to them. They were saving because at some point too, the dude was no longer engaging. It turned into let's beat the white people.
Let's just beat up everybody we can see
on the boat. We can see.
Yeah,
but
that's
again,
what it ends up to.
I'm fine with that. And understanding the consequences. See, because what the issue is, we want the fight and not have the consequences. When we're ready to deal with the consequences for fighting for your right, I think you're gonna see the change. We want the change. Like whenever something happened, they tell you boycott Gucci, right? They want the change, but they don't want the consequences coming to fight. You trying to tell me I can't get fly and dress up in my clothes, whatever. So I think for me watching it, I felt proud, and I was not one of the ones saying, "Oh man, they better not go to jail." Go to jail, because now what you know what you telling them people.
I'm willing to
go to jail for this. I'm willing to, because I seen one person made a comment, oh, what if they had a gun? You ain't think about what could have happened to you. No, you right. I want people to say, I don't care what's going to happen to me. You're just not going to do this. You're not going to be able to beat up on me. You're not going to be able to just, kill one of us and we're going to stand there. We're willing to die. We're willing to go to jail. We're willing to get sued. We're willing to lose as well to protect ourselves. Because if you notice when white people have a niche about something, they ready to go to jail. They ready to do whatever it takes to get whatever they want. They willing to kill you. You know what I'm saying? Like the Ku Klux Klan, when they want their way, they kill you. So I think what we show why they should get arrested, why we should have some consequences, because we're saying we don't care. No matter what's gonna happen to us, we're gonna fight for this. We're gonna fight for our freedom. We're gonna fight for being treated fairly and so forth. So in my mind, I kind of felt proud. Like, yeah, man, we go ahead, slap a couple of them up. I'm ready to do some time for it. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what, like I said, when we were talking about in our last podcast, what I was saying, enough people are not giving enough to sacrifice for the cause was. And those individuals saw somebody in need and said, you know what, like you said, Box, was, I don't care what it takes, but I'm going to go out there and help and support that person. Yes, I might end up in jail. Yes, I might do all this other stuff, but I'm willing to see somebody who's in distress, and I'm going to jump out and help it. That boy who was 16, I prayed to God that he did know how to swim, because it would have been a whole different story. This dude jumped in that water and drowned.
Wow. See, right? That's what. But
even jumping in that water, you could have easily jumped down in the water.
A boat could have hit you.
Something could have hit you, knock your head, or whatever. But he took that and said, you know what? Because he saw somebody in need. One of his own kind was in need. Somebody who he worked with. It looked like he knew him personally, because they were screaming the name out on the boat. Him and the rest of the crew were screaming the name about the person.
I'm pretty sure they know him, because if he has security on the dock, and that's where they dock at, I'm pretty sure they had some familiarity with him.
Because the people that jumped off the boat was his coworkers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They was coming. A
lot of them was the people that worked there was jumping down their throat. So
But I think when I saw it, I was like, okay, because I didn't know about it. Somebody had to send it to me or two, and I was like, man, Tim, did you hear about it? I was like, nah,
They sent it to Tamia.
They sent it to me too.
Oh, I'm about to say, I thought Tamia showed.
Well, I showed Tamia. I showed it to her. Tamia got this whole thing she's going through right now, because she can't believe that black people could think about it that way. You understand what I'm saying? Like, we look at it, people look at us like we're strange, like we're aliens. Compared to what the regular people here. So
she's saying she think that
No, she liked it. She said she didn't. She liked it because she saw that there was somebody fighting back because somebody was in danger, and that's what she saw for real. And then
Does Tamia go through racism at her?
she go a little bit because of that. Her school is what 80% Hispanic, and some of those Hispanics forget that they're immigrants themselves because they look more on the complexion part. So if I'm looking in the mirror, oh, I'm white. No, buddy, you Hispanic. But we experienced that when we was at Miami Lakes. When we was trying to do the Optimus, they was fighting us tooth and nail not to have football out there.
Yeah, but it's kind of justified.
Not all the time, boss.
Nah. They put us on a probation program to teach. They try to reteach us how to what's the word? Marketing.
We had numerous events where people were fighting.
No, we did not.
We did not.
No, we did not.
Now, when name
it,
it, and I can tell you it's the end of us leaving.
No, it was
when.
I'm not gonna say names.
Uh-huh.
All right, but it was a pound where there was a parent who was aggressive when their son was on there when he first stepped on the scene, and they used to be on the sideline tripping. Yeah, not remember that?
But that's everywhere though.
No,
that's everywhere.
But I'm saying, but the way that person was tripping, like whatever, on our pound, there was somebody about to fight because they thought the wrong call was made. Y'all remember that? The whole family was about to come and jump in and beat up the referees because they said it was a pass interference or whoever the case would be. We all know the incident. I'm not gonna get too specific, but there was other incidents.
But that was later
I'm not
on.
even gonna name the major one.
But that's later on.
That's what I'm saying. That's later on. But prior to that, they was making
Also, their biggest thing, which I also agree with, they looked at the registration of the kids that was there. And none of them had Miami Lakes or Hialeah zip codes.
But the thing that we fought about it too, and Mel was there with us. If you look at their baseball, you look at their soccer, you look at all this other stuff, they didn't have majority of Miami Lakes people anyway either way. It's the same thing.
When y'all looked at their rosters,
Yes.
it was in Miami.
Yes,
Yeah,
so they had the Miami Lakes color, but they didn't have the zip code because they were looking for zip codes.
Because remember, they baseball team was good.
Yeah.
You think all them baseball players stand one? Name me a time when you have one city of any type of all good anything. Basketball, baseball, football, soccer. You have to if you have a good thing, you get it from everyone else. But that's what I'm saying. I think you have a stereotype to thinking that we don't know how to run or have run an organization or put our place in a position to be successful. And I think that was a little bit of the bias or racism of whatever verbiage you want to use when we was there, because they was putting us through a lot of hoops in stuff like that to get the things that the other programs, like even with selling at the concession stand or making money for ourselves, that lady was not playing with that concession stand. You know what I'm saying?
Why? What you saying?
She would not give up because we was trying to make money for the program, but she was not giving it. She was like, "Oh nah, that's what we doing." Like she'll complain about you selling something, or she would, but it wasn't
Because she was making money.
Yeah, because it was a business for her. It wasn't like it was the parks. You see what I'm saying?
So when she was renting that place?
Yeah, no, she just was giving her thing was, I'll just give you a percentage of what we make, which
Yeah.
there was no tracker on what you make. So if I said I made only $50 today, you get
$5.
There's no tracker, so there's no way you have all these kids buying something from you every day, and you telling me all you made was $50. You get what I'm saying? Like it was just an easy way to have a little notch.
So I did get racism given to me. Wow.
No, it's and see some of them might not be as blatant as other, but I think what went through the people's minds was that, man, we've been getting black people been getting beaten up so much by white people. We can't let this continue happening, right? That was that was the straw that broke the camel back, right? And I think by them showing that now, would that stop people from the way they think about us? And I don't think so. I don't think it's gonna stop. It's not gonna. I think another black person will get jumped by somebody else later on, sooner or later. But I just think now it opened the eyes for all the spectators to be able to jump in.
I think differently though. I think
you think that can take you? I don't think so, man.
No, I think if you tell me right now, if we walking, or you walking, and you see 3-4 white dudes beating up on a black dude, I think people gonna jump in. Now, what the real question is, if we walking and we see 3-4 policemen beating up on a black dude, are you gonna step in?
Right? No, that's a little different.
Cause you
That's
like,
a little-
no, but
that's a little different.
That's why I come in when I say the consequences. Because now what I'm saying to you is, if we see this black dude getting jumped and some white dude beating him up, I think now I think you gonna see some black dudes run up on them and we gonna fade with them, bump with them, break it up. Then you just not gonna walk by and record and watch these white people beat up this black dude, right? Now, I think that part of it, I think that the Montgomery brawl kind of brought that to the forefront. Like, bro, let's not just sit around and let them beat us up. But I think the issue going to be now, when you walking down the street and you see a police officer pull somebody over and say he might have resisted a little bit and they stomping him. Do you interject? Do you put yourself at risk of one being arrested? You know what I'm saying? Best case scenario, you get arrested. Worst case scenario, they kill you and start stumping you out. You know what I'm saying? Like how violent or how far we willing to go? Because again, we probably protest and burn some stuff down after the fact once we get the video. But are we willing to like George Floyd? Right? That's the prime example. There was a lot of black people on the side recording. Rightfully so, because we was able to see it. Next time we see that happen, we as a crowd, we bum rush them like, hey man, get up off this dude, else we coming at your head.
But I think even when you looked at the George Floyd part, yes, Buddy had his knee on, but those other cops had their hand was ready to go. Like if you try,
that's what I'm saying.
I understand that. I'm saying if you ran up to them, I understand you want to go help. You ran up to them, you was gonna lose a lot of people in life that day.
That's what I'm saying.
You better start the Black Panther Party.
No, it ain't. But this what I'm saying. For you to get change, right? For you to have change, or for you to get think about what you call it, civil rights era, right? How many people? Every person.
A lot of people passed away.
Every person. Martin Luther King, the guy we celebrate. Malcolm X. All our leaders who we celebrate being arrested had dogs pushed on them, water pushed. Like you don't see any of those people we celebrate talking about. Oh, I ain't never nothing happened. I went on. All I did was go out front, hold some signs, and say kumbaya. Nah, you see a lot of them sacrifice things that were put in place. Were sitting in jail. Because they were willing to say, you know what, I'm willing to deal with the consequences that comes with fighting for my people. That's what I mean. So yes, on that George Floyd incident, yeah, you're right. Them officers were ready and they had they hands on their guns and they was looking, but we had to be willing to lose people that day to save that one guy for us to get to the point to where they gonna better respect us. That they're gonna respect us more. Where they're gonna understand that we're no longer gonna take the mistreatment, the maltreatment, or so forth. I think that's something we have to be willing to do for us to get to that next part of earning the respect or getting the things that we want.
We out of the civil rights movement, bro. I don't know if I need to.
No, I get, but I don't get me wrong. I'm not saying. Hold on, I want to make sure I'm clear. I'm not saying going forward because of this Montgomery brawl that we're gonna start seeing that. What I'm saying is the Montgomery brawl kind of showed us what we have to do if we're gonna get the. Because again, we can't depend on Congress or president because there is no legislation in place. They're still fighting to get those things done to protect us. So now it comes to a point where we ourselves have to be willing to sacrifice to get that done is what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's going to happen. It might happen, might not. But what I'm just saying, we just saw a modern day example of what we need to do to get those things that we want.
Yeah, like I know that's what I was saying. And like I said, going right back to the last part kept again. I mean, like I was saying before, we have to be able to sacrifice to make a difference, right? And that not only just losing our job, not only just using maybe probably our life. We will have to do some time. So those are a couple of things that we have to keep in mind on that aspect. And for me, like I said, when I first saw it, you know, after all the memes and people getting folding chairs and all this, I said, you know what? Them people saying, you know, enough is enough. Right, and the old saying, "I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired." So I'm sick and tired of seeing somebody get jumped and beat up. Now, when you looked at the first guy who came in, what he did, he didn't try to do anything malicious. All he did was try to break everything up. He was trying to break it up and all this, and that's what we need to. If you jump in, try to break it up, do as much as you can. But those other people, like they was like, man, I remember when the police pulled me over.
Yeah.
I remember when I went into the store and the clerk was like, "Hurry up and buy." Bum. I remember when I was in Walmart and somebody was following around me the whole time in there. So that brought all things into them. Or that time I went to work and they was like they didn't promote me because I was black. Yeah. Or they didn't like me because I was black. So all that accumulated in them, and they took it out too on that time. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I saw happen.
Yeah, I seen at the end of that frustration. We like, boy, we fighting every white person that's on this deck finna get these hands, and I was okay with it. Even when Buddy slapped the lady with the chair.
Nah, I think that went a little bit too far.
No, but hold on. But this is what I'm saying. If you look at the video, when the lady was on the ground and she slapped her with the chair, it was two black women standing. And when he slapped her with the chair, they originally went like this, ooh, and then they're like, we hit her, go ahead. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was we know it's wrong, but this moment called for us to act a little out of character, and I'm okay with them charging him, right? So we can show that we willing to deal with the consequences of protecting ourselves.
I was trying to look and see if it was only that family that were fighting, or was there other white? If it was white,
man, it looked like it was
some other white person.
Any white person they seen on the deck.
No. What are you saying? Like, who was coming in and was jumping as well? Because at one point, honestly, when that point you saw that there were black people jumping on, and you saw some white people coming in fighting back to help another one.
I think it was when you in prison, like one of those prisons. Them black and white people fighting, but we know once it started going crazy, them white people probably was like, and they had to say, you know what, we thumping, we got to go thump the black, because you get what I'm saying? It's no time to see who's right or wrong. We got to fight. It's just like how you break up in something, you see black people fighting, white people fighting, and that things getting hectic, you gonna pick the side just on the color. You don't know what's going on.
You think they would have jumped Buddy if he was not looking with his short pants on and looking the way he was?
You said he looked like a duck.
Yeah, you think them white people would have jumped up?
Of course.
No. What I'm saying is, think about it. If you saw the dude, I see a black dude built, whatever. You think
athlete.
like an athlete? You think they would have run up on Buddy?
Nah,
no, of course not.
They seen he
like they said about Will Smith. If Rock Dwayne Johnson would have said that instead of Chris Rock, he wouldn't have went up there and slapped.
Yeah, it does. It does. I think who it is and how you look plays a part on how much smoke somebody gonna get.
Do y'all think they would have helped? Black people would have helped the security guard. There was black people jumping him.
Nah,
not at all.
Nah.
They would have been recording.
The only reason they jumped in was because they white.
Yeah, that was the only reason.
That's not even an understatement. We don't have to ask no question. That's not no innocent. I mean, to prove and get none of that.
I think Buddy on the ship would have. It looked like he was ready to go.
No,
who it was.
But
the one who was swimming in the water.
But that's what I'm saying.
That was his homeboy.
I could see him, because if he known him, they would have been brawling. But I think those people that came down that ramp and all that other stuff, people jump. It was clearly because that dude. It was these white people
beating up on a black dude.
That's it. It's only reason.
And you know the part that killed me the most was this dude gave them ample enough time to move their boat.
Yeah,
they was going back and forth for a minute.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So, and even the part they didn't record on there, we wouldn't know, because he was going back and forth with them. And it's just the audacity for them to just come up and just fight this man because he was doing his job.
Yeah,
and I think once again, because they know who he was or how he was dressed and all this other stuff, they figure, man, we could go ahead and knock this dude out. We can go ahead and jump. And plus, you drunk. Being in the, you know how hot this sun has been for the past couple of months. That make you. They was delirious.
There was much sun out there, my boy.
How do you know it's much? They was on the water, boss.
Yeah, but it was. You right. They may have got the sun early, and then as they came in, I got you. I mean, just my final thing before we close out. I feel like it was an important moment for us, for at least for this year, that it kind of give us the idea that we can fight back. Hoping that we show other black people and ourselves that the world rather, that we're willing to sacrifice the consequence of whatever comes with the action to make sure that we're well cared for or well respected, or we, fight against racism.
Agreed.
So, again, I want to thank everybody for continue to support us, Don't forget to like, subscribe. Don't we say this all the time? We working. See, we the people's podcast, right? None of us ain't famous. None of us ain't rich. We ain't doing that. We started from the ground, the grassroots. So the more support you give us and allow us to get to the top, we can show other people that the people podcast can work and it's for everybody.
And also, once again, we want you to comment even if you don't like us or not. Tell us on the ways that we can improve.
The last video, Buddy told us we were stupid. And we fine with it. He told us, he said we stupid.
See, y'all fine with it, man. Keep them comments to yourself. Only support comments under the thing.
No, we need to grow.
Man,
we need to grow.
Yeah,
we
I don't
need
care,
to grow.
man. Whatever comment,
We
just
need to
put
grow.
on it, but
Because like I said, the way we wanted to create this, we wanted to talk about what stuff we would talk amongst ourselves and how we like. If this camera wasn't in front of us, this mic, these are stuff conversation we would have had.
Minus some curse words,
But yeah, we don't have. Yeah, we try to be as
not him,
people
but
friendly as possible.
Well, me, I'm the cursor. But again, I want to thank everybody for listening. To continue to watch, don't forget to like, subscribe, and it's your boy Dean,
Tim,
Teran.
Another episode of Dean's Office, yo.